Republican Congressman David Jolly is the man that represents Clearwater, Florida. This is the home of the Scientologist Mecca, the place where there is the biggest concentration in the world of Scientologists. And they have what they call, and this is the way the Scientology describes it, the flag service organization, the spiritual headquarters of Scientologists planetwide. And David Jolly, at the local level, this relationship that he has closely with the Scientology church has been very beneficial. But now that he's running for the Senate, it's different. People is starting to look at that and saying, wait a minute, why are you so close with this brainwashing, deceiving organization that has taken over this community? What's up with you?
Oh man, planet-wide, that's so creepy. We're taking over. No, it actually started in 1976. Yes. This occupation of Clearwater is what the mayor actually called it. All these Scientologists moving in there. It's a 9 mile wide, 9 by 9. It's a 9 square miles on the grid. So it's not very big, but at the same time, as a senator, he's going to be representing a lot of people who are Scientologists. Is he himself a Scientologist, or is he
not?
Okay.
He's not, at least not publicly, but he's not being shy of being close to the Scientologist community. And like you said, he does represent them locally, being such the highest concentration of Scientologists in the world. He probably has to take those interests in account. But now that he's going to the Senate, some of the relationships that he has and some of the events that he has been invited as the main guest has been organized by the Scientologist church. And one in particular, and we have the invitation actually, we can put it full screen. He was the special guest to the fundraiser for Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi in June of 2014, and it was organized by Scientologists.
Yeah, well, actually, that happened July 2014. I don't think the same thing would actually happen now, because actually his wife was scheduled to be at this fashion show, the Scientology fashion show, which was going to give money to children who deal with chronic hunger on a day-to-day basis, but she had to cancel because presumably, I think that's a smart move on her part, because she's trying to distance herself. And I think tying yourself in with some sham, scary cult religion, fake-ass religion like that is kind of, it's a lose-lose politically for you, right? Especially when your husband is trying to do big things in the Senate.
Exactly, and there's other relationship. He's been in many events that happen at the Fort Harrison Hotel that is owned by the Scientology Church and is where they have a lot of religious retreats. Also, he has been in touch with one of the main PACs that accept money from the Scientology Church. Although the Scientology Church came forward and said, we have a long-standing policy where we avoid participating in politics and do not support or oppose political candidates. On his side, the congressman said, I represent 700,000 constituents, and for those who oppose or support my campaign, I have no control. Mainly, of these 700,000, 90%, 80% of them are Scientologists. So also, there's another question, and it brings a bigger issue, that is the issue of secularism, and how much the politics in this country has shifted away from being secular. And we do put the finger on top, as we should, on top of this guy that has very strong ties to a religious group that has shown to be abusive and borderline criminal, for some criminal all the way. But we do see today the Republican presidential debate. At least 4 of those guys have said publicly that they heard the voice of God telling them to run for president. And now the church that you represent, the church that you're affiliated with, it's an asset on your race to the presidency. And I think that we missed the point about how important it is for the political process to be secular.
Right, Jesus, guns, you got to be behind the issues that really matter when we're talking about running this country if you want to get that GOP candidacy. Ben Carson also coming out and saying, I would never have a Muslim, I would never allow, or I'd never want to see a Muslim running this country again, speaks to that whole idea of where the hell did the secularism go? Out the freaking window in this country, right? But he's kind of doing his job, though. If we're talking about somebody who's representing their county, right? Exactly. If we're talking about, representing the people as a senator, that's what you do, right?
But then there's a fear, if we allow these religions, their private interest, maybe they're pushing for not losing their status as tax exempt organization. Who knows? They lobby for their own interests, that is for sure. But being such a high concentration, we might have to think, well, he's doing his job. But at the same time, I want to leave you with a question. How is it different for this guy to be supporting or be listening to the needs of these constituents that happen to be Scientologists? How is it different from these candidates pushing their own religion in order to get votes? I want to know your opinion. Share it below in the comment section. And if you haven't, please subscribe to the Lib TV too.